Hello to my loved ones. I hope my volume is good. Please let me know in the comment section. Okay, I see my co-host here. Where did she go? She disappeared. Uh, I think she'll probably pop back in. Hopefully, Miss Nexie pressed that link again. But welcome in, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Sip and Chat. I really and truly, let me welcome everybody to this week's episode of the Sip and Chat. Hi, Miss Nexie.
Hello, Miss Mark.
Doing great. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing today?
Sorry. It's you see what happens when you take a little break from daily life?
Yeah.
I
It's
forgot.
about the Sip and Chat.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Nexie. Oh, Miss Nexie, I'm going to give you some ASMR.
Somewhat
Ready?
who?
ASMR.
Okay.
Oh, I just feel like messing with y'all tonight. So I'm having this Boyland black cherry cane sugar soda.
Ooh, that sounds good.
The not the not the ones that are in the store. I've been finding the ones that are in the glass jars, glass
Oh, I
bottles.
love those.
Yeah.
Oh, I love. You know what people say? It doesn't make a difference. They all taste the same, whether in a can or in a plastic container or in carton. I said, nope, I'm sorry. But for me, glass tastes so much better. The bottles that are made out of glass, the drinks are so much better. But then again, I'm crazy.
So how are you doing, Nexie?
I
Welcome to
am,
the chat. Go ahead, Miss Nexie.
no, I said, I am doing really, really good. I took 3 days off. It was my birthday. So they took me out. Um, and we went to Front Beach condo for 3 days, 2 nights, because I had already taken some time off before. So I'm like, I'm not going to do a whole week this time, just like 3 days. So I had a great time, Miss Marlene. I relaxed. I spent time with my little guy. I actually read half a book.
Wow. Wow, that's
Yes,
amazing.
ma'am. Yes,
I'm glad
ma'am.
to relax.
Yes, ma'am. And again,
Yeah.
you don't turn 30 years old every year like I do. So I turned
This
30 again.
is already on repeat, right?
Yes. Yes, I've been doing that for years. My kids don't believe me anymore. But it was
So
a good time.
this week's episode of the Sip and Chat is Some People Are Incapable of Love.
Ooh. How much time we got?
This next we have some time. Because I want to start off this not coming against anybody, not, this is no shot to anybody, but I'm just speaking my personal truth. Miss Nexie speaks hers, and we always welcome everybody to speak their personal truth when it comes to how we're feeling about things. And there's a lot of people who are in our lives that claim that they love us, and I'm doing air quotes like you guys can see
I
me.
can actually see them. I just heard them. I heard them. I swear I heard them.
So Oh, and I'm so rude. I'm sipping ahead. Miss Nexie, I did not ask you what you were sipping on.
Miss Marlene, you don't have to be too excited about this and you don't have to feel bad about skipping my whole what are you drinking because it's just simple H2O, simple water. I'm sipping on that because I'm still dehydrated from all the fun I had. It was very hot. No, just drinking just water. No coffee for a change.
Wow, water. Oh,
Now, I want to say something about what you just said as far as us, talking about our experiences with people that are incapable of returning, you know, the love we have for them. And I hope that, nobody feels that like you said, that we are going after them or throwing rocks at them or speaking about them. Um, the reason why we like to discuss this is because when people that you have spent almost half of your life trying to have them love you, hurt you by not being able to love you, it leaves a huge scar on you. So for Miss
mm,
Marlene and I to be able to overcome that and to be able to move on and be able to be okay, mentally healthy, we need to discuss these topics because it took us many, many years to be able to talk about it. I'm sure there's a lot of people that go through the same or have gone through the same or are going through the same things you and I have gone through. So
see,
that's why we speak that.
that exactly, Miss Nexie. And I think what it is that you and I have enough courage to say we have been scarred, we have been
Mhm.
used and, abused and disrespected. And we have come to the conclusion that we're not going to take it anymore. We're going to
Exactly.
only keep healthy relationships from here on out.
Exactly, Ms. Marlene. And we've been, we have been taken advantage of. We have been used and abused. And I don't mean that it's just the other person's fault. It was our fault as well because we allowed it to, right? But we weren't mentally healthy at that point. We weren't mentally secure. So we allowed certain things to go on for too long when it came to people's inability to, reciprocate our love. But here we are now, and we're talking about it, and we're getting healthier every time we talk about it.
Yeah, because that's what counts.
Mhm. Yes, ma'am. That's what counts. And, you know, if you're okay with this, can I go first?
Yes. Let's see. Go ahead,
Wonderful. Well, I spend the majority of my life, and I can say that, and I'm very, very sad that I did, because many people, and especially my husband, my ex-husband now, I'm sorry, will voice this to me very often, but I didn't want to hear it. But I spend the majority of my life, including my adult life, right, trying to have someone that I love dearly, trying to have that person love me back. I will go above and beyond for this person. I will call and go see this person, and she's almost 3 hours away from me. I did that for a very long time. I will bring her things, buy her things, help her around the house, tell her constantly how much I care, how much I loved her. Showing her as well, how much I did. This person will come, drive all the way down to where I live. She will pass my house and go somewhere else to visit somebody else for years. Sometimes I wouldn't even know she was here. And never called without having something to ask for. Like whenever she called, it was to see if I could help her with something, or because she had a question. Um, ignore my children growing up. Um, ignore me, all my feelings growing up. But it took me a very long time, Miss Marlene, to accept. And not because my ex-husband would tell me, not because, my sisters or anybody else will tell me that this person will never love me the way I loved her, or will never acknowledge my love the way I wanted it to. Nobody could let me see that, right? I had to figure it out on my own. Once I accepted the fact that this person was never, ever going to be able to love me the way that I wanted it, the way that I thought I deserved, the same way I loved her. Once I
Mm.
accepted that, my life and the pain that I felt got so much better. I had to admit it to myself. I had to accept the fact that this person was incapable of loving me
Mm.
the way that I wanted her to, the way that I deserved to be loved. This person is incapable of doing that because she doesn't even know how to love herself.
And I was just about to get to that point, Miss Nexty, because I think that that is the key, is that a lot of people, we are expecting for people to be like us, that
Hmm.
how we're kind, how we're supportive, how we're there for them, we expect to get the same thing back. But when it's not happening, when do you draw the line and cut people off? And I think that many of us, especially when it comes to titles like, your parents, your siblings, your kids, your romantic relationship, we allow people to go too far for too long without saying, no, I don't
Hmm.
deserve. I think it's always this expectation that we hope one day they'll change.
Hmm. Yes, ma'am.
And we have to realize that Miss Next Day gotta say this, and this is gonna burn
Uh oh.
to come out of the way. Got the boots on, Miss Nexty.
Got
You
him
guys,
on.
the
Got him
sipping
on.
chop, they gotta be laced up. Yeah.
Miss Marlene, I'm late because I was lacing them up real, real tight.
And, well, I have to say this is that a lot of times the reason why we don't want to accept it is because the people that we love are mentally ill.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They are, or Miss Marlene, I gotta say this. My therapist said either mentally ill or incapable of returning that love the way that you want it. They can love you to the capacity that they have to love somebody else, but they're incapable of loving you the way that you love them. That's what he said to me.
Yeah, because sometimes, I'm not saying every situation where people don't love us, but sometimes you have to be open to that possibility that not everybody, the elevator doesn't go to the top floor. Okay? We got to come to that space because, we don't sugarcoat things over here.
Yeah, we don't.
And after that, there are people who are gaslighters, narcissists.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. But Miss Marlene, can I say something real quick now that we are in this topic and we're gonna move on to the next one? Sometimes when people are incapable of loving you like that and you are so hungry for that love, what you start doing is overprotecting and over loving the people around you, especially your children. And I think that sometimes, if you don't take care of your mental health, sometimes you can harm those around you who love you as well because
Mhm.
you're so hungry for it. You're overdoing it with your kids as far as love, showing, affection, showing, giving attention, overprotecting them, making sure that every moment of their life is covered as far as as far as love goes, right? So sometimes because we are not receiving it, we are overdoing it. That's all I wanted to say.
Yes, Miss Next,
Are you
because
enjoying that drink?
yeah.
I can hear that the lip smacking.
Guzzle, guzzle, refreshment. So, Miss Next, the truth about it is that it's hard for us to accept that number one, the people that we love are not mentally stable. Number
Hmm.
two, they have issues within themselves that we can't fix it.
Exactly.
And number three, we're coming to the space where we have to understand that some people cannot love us because they don't love themselves.
Exactly, Miss Marlene. Exactly. And again, admitting that this person will never be able to see me and love me and um how can I say and acknowledge me. Um that was a very hard pill to swallow. That was very painful because I had to um accept that even though this person should love me, right, the same way I love my children, this person can't do that no matter what I do because it's not for me to change those feelings for her. It's something that, that she hasn't developed and she never will at this point. It was very painful. It was very, very hard for me to let go and to stop doing all the nice things that I wasn't doing them to get rewarded in any way as far as material things, right? I was just doing them to show this person how much I loved her and how much I wanted to take care of her and how much I wanted her to be okay and to know that no matter what, I always going to be here, right? You can, you're gonna be okay because I'm here. So I had to accept that by doing that, I was giving this person um, free range to do whatever she wanted to, take advantage of the love I had, and to use me, my time, and anything else any way she wanted to, because for some reason I just couldn't say no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Miss Next, it's not just for some reason. It's because you loved with your whole heart.
Hmm.
Some people don't understand what it means to love for with your motives. It's not I love you because,
Hmm.
and that's the next part of this conversation that I want to go to. Some people only love you if it's I love you if, I love
Uh,
you when. And if you can't love them and do something for them, then they figure that they don't love you because they only think that you can love them when you're giving something to them financially, or when
yeah.
they're going to get some sort of gain. It's not just I love you just because you're a wonderful part of my life.
Exactly. Exactly. So, it was, again, it was very painful, very hard, but I had to let go, stop overdoing what I was doing because, again, it doesn't matter, like you said, if it's your mom, your dad, your kids, your uncle, whoever it is that is, taking your love for granted. Um, it doesn't matter. I had to stop doing that so that I could work on me, heal me, and accept that that person doesn't have the capacity to, regardless of what I do or how many years I do this. So I had to do that. And it was, again, it was a very, very painful chapter in my life. But I had to also stop because I was probably scarring my children at the same time. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Yeah, Miss Nexie, but we don't know sometimes that how much we're affected by things until we see the, what is it called? The after effects.
Ye- Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Until
want,
we see the results of what, of
yeah.
what we have done to the people that we love the most. Um,
Mhm.
and again, Miss Marlene, it's a part. It took for me for so long for me to see it. My husband will say, "Stop! You're so nice. You're so good to this person. She doesn't deserve it. Trust me. If this person would be what she is to you in my life and did what she did to you when you were small, this if that was me, I would have never talked to her again in my life. She wouldn't be part of my kid's life, part of my life, nothing. I wouldn't She would have been, unalive to me. Like nothing would matter. She would be nothing in my life. She's lucky that she has you and that you are who you are to her and she is who she is to you. Because, you I don't know if it was because I don't know. I just didn't understand why he was saying those things to me. Like, how can you say that? How could you? No, this person is important to me because blah, blah, blah. And you can't say things like that around me about her. And one day she'll realize, and you'll see. And that day never came. And
One day, one
what was,
day,
yes, exactly, Miss Marlene. One day they'll see, right? But that day never came. Um, to this day, that day has never come to flourish. So I had to again try to undo all of that. And then what I was doing, like I said, with my kids is I was overdoing things. And I will try, like, I was starting to kind of scare them a little because I wanted it to be so overprotective of them that I wasn't allowing them to grow up organically, naturally, with fears, with anger, with sometimes a little bit of craziness. I was doing everything to perfection and I wasn't allowing them to learn and live life the way it's supposed to because I was so afraid of losing them or them not knowing that I love them so much and that I always there for you. Overprotecting.
know what, Miss Nexie? When we do that, when we think we're being overprotective, actually we're smothering them. And that was one of the things, Miss Nexie, that I didn't like. Well, I remember when my therapist told me I was a person that mothers. I was like, excuse me, not mother. I just love hard.
No, my kids were like, Mom, stop! I can hear it. What? Your helicopter, Mom. I can hear them. I can hear the blades of that helicopter, Mom. But I had to learn that I had to allow them to, you know, fall and get up on their own and just be there if they needed me, for moral support or whatever. I had to allow them to learn to make mistakes and understand that no matter what, they were always going to be loved and was always going to be there. The things that I never had growing up, because I think that's what it was. It did such a number on me because I didn't have this person that I wanted them never to feel the way I did, even though, according to me, I felt nothing, right? But,
Yeah.
I wanted them to know that I was there. I wanted them to. So it scarred me so much that working on that has been, I think, one of the best things I have done for me. Letting go, learning how to let go, learning that, that person is incapable, that it has nothing to do with me, because I will blame me. Maybe I'm unlovable, maybe I'm the person that I am is probably, you know, not nice enough to be loved or cared for or want to be around, So I had to learn that it had nothing to do with me, but everything to do with that person. And I had to stop so that I could understand that no matter what, whether I was present or absent, it was not going to make a difference on that person's life. And it didn't.
Yeah.
And that hurt.
Of
But
course.
I let go and I moved on. And now that I have, I had to let go. Now that I have done that, I understand that I was putting a lot of stress on me. I was putting a lot of unnecessary stress. I was
Yep.
putting a lot of unnecessary heartache and a lot of unnecessary anxiety.
Hmm.
Because again, Miss Marlene, I was never going to be able to show this person because she wasn't capable of seeing me. She's not capable of seeing me. So doing that, now I worked on me for many, many years. I learned to not scar my kids the way that I was scarred because I was doing it in a different way for the same reason. I was unloved. I was doing overload of love. So I had to learn to, thank God it was done early in their childhood. So the scars are not as deep, right? But I was able to fix that. So right now it's only a matter of whenever that person needs me, if I can, I help. If I can't, I don't. And if I don't want to, I don't either.
See, that's personal growth and development, realizing that you do so if you can and also if you want to. That's the thing that took a lot of weight over my shoulders. Stop feeling like I have to and only do things if I want to.
Exactly, Miss Marlene. And
Well,
but I think it has to do with us, Miss Marlene, because of our upbringing, the way that we are taught since we are children. That does a number on us too, because it puts us in this predicament of, if I don't follow that, then that's not how everybody else did it. That's not how everybody else does it. So if I don't follow that pattern, I'm messing up. I'm supposed to do this. We all are supposed to follow this certain pattern. I'm not following it, then there's something wrong with me. And I think it's because of that, because of the way that we are raised.
yeah. And I agree with that, Miss Nexty. It's a lot of us that have had a lot of trauma scars, a lot of, disappointment, abandonment, lots and lots of stuff that causes us to be the way we are today. But the whole thing about it is why I do this channel is I don't want for us to say this, and this happened to us in our life, whatever it was, whatever, not just in our families, in our relationship with other people, maybe with your exes or with whoever it is, for us to not say. this happened to me. This person didn't love me. And some people will be like, oh, that's it. I'm done. I'm never opening my heart again. I'm never trusting. I'm never. And I do understand about taking a break and learning the lesson, giving yourself time to heal, but cutting your heart off from ever experiencing love from other people, that's a very sad existence.
It
And
is.
it's reasons why I had this journal, because I used to do that before, like when a friend really breaks your heart, or in a romantic relationship really breaks your heart, or whoever it is, someone that you loved um, completely backstabbed you,
Hmm.
abandoned, disrespected you, cheated on you, did the worst things that can ever be known. I call them crimes against humanity.
They are. They are. They are, Miss Marlene. They are.
Because you just can't exist. You're just like, why did you do this to me? And we have to, I wouldn't say get over that, but I would say we have to learn the lesson that they're not going to change, and we have to let those people go. We
Yes.
have to let those people go and not let those people, egging us on. It's like I call them the people who are attached to us from our umbilical cord. Like
Yes.
you gotta stop being the source of their whatever, their drama, their you become like their savior. There's this savior complex that I had my entire life, that was all stirred in because I was unloved. I overloved.
Hmm.
That is
Yep.
not a good thing. And we have to understand that no matter how much you do for people, the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to get burned out,
Yep.
burned burned out. You're going to get frustrated. They're going to take all your money away from you. And then all they're going to do is, after you can't do for them anymore, all they're going to do is go on to the next person that they can use,
Use again.
manipulate.
Exactly.
And when that person is done, they just keep moving on. And I wanted to highlight a comment Realist put in the chat a little bit earlier that I missed. And he said, we give our respect, love, and loyalty to the wrong folk, but don't realize it till much later.
Yes. Exactly. Realist and high realist. It is so true, Miss Marlene. And in doing so and realizing much later, as realist says, because it is true. I think that if we will be able to see the patterns, now we can, right? We can follow that and say, nope, bye. That's not gonna happen to me again. But before we were, okay with, we had a good mental health, we will follow the same pattern over and over and over and over again and continue to hurt, and then continue on allowing others to take advantage of us again. We were so naive in not understanding the game, I guess, because that's the thing. I don't play games, right? Like that, using people, taking advantage of them or anything like that. So I didn't expect people to be like that. But I learned that there is a lot of people who do that. They use you, they abuse you to their heart's content. And then, as you said, once they cannot get anything from you, whether it's money, rides, or anything else, they dump you.
Mhm.
And I will go through that a lot because I was lacking love from the main person that was supposed to love me the most. So I was trying to love everybody else, Miss Marlene, and help everybody else and make everybody else's life, perfect according to me. They weren't asking. I'm sure they were just expecting it, but I was doing it no matter what. And I had to learn that, hey, I don't see this being a two-way, relationship. It feels like it's a one-way relationship. I'm the one doing everything, helping and everything, and you're just taking, taking, taking. But it takes a very long time for you to come to that realization. And at this point, so many people have already hurt you. So many people have already taken advantage of your kindness that you can sometimes say, I'm done. I'm not helping anybody else. I'm not doing anything for anybody else. I'm not getting close to anybody else. But then again, if you do that, that person wins or those
Yeah,
people win.
yeah,
So balance is key. And that's the
mm,
one thing I had to learn, to balance everything. And not meaning that I was going out helping people because I needed them to pay back what I was doing. No, but I was helping people that deserved my help, that even though they weren't asking, they will appreciate. And
yes,
whenever
Miss.
I needed something, they will help without expecting their help.
Right, Miss Nexie. And I believe that it's all about the principle.
Mhm.
It's about the principle. It's not about um, the money, but it's about how do they treat. And for my thing, that literally makes me crazy is the ones that they have the expectation. They're not actually, they're demanding.
Yes,
Like
ma'am.
you must do it, and it's just that attitude of entitlement, that they're entitled to all of your time, all of your money, all of everything that you have, and you don't deserve to have anything for yourself. And those are the things that I can't take when it comes to people in my life, that I can care for you, and for me, it doesn't matter how much you've done for me. You know how, like, the older people
Hi.
in your, like, they'll come around like, oh, I did this for you, and I raised, and I sacrificed, and I did this, like throwing it in your face. And because I did all of these things all these years, you have to do everything I want. No,
Mm.
no, that is not going to work. I said that is so toxic,
It is. It
so
is.
toxic.
And
The
Miss
control.
Marlene. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on, Miss Marlene. Sorry. No, I thought I interrupted, but I'm sorry if I did. No, but what I was gonna say is, and when you are like that, Miss Marlene, that people take advantage of you, and you're the next generation is seeing that, and sometimes they learn your behaviors too, and it continues on and on and on and on, right? Which is why it's good for us to try to give our, the next generation that follows us and our kiddos the best, the healthiest mind, so that they can learn, they can see these behaviors, they can follow these patterns and not fall in the same, you know, games that we fell on. For me, Miss Marlene, something that always bothered me with, our my elders. I am not gonna say our elders because I don't know how yours were, but with my elders is that thing of I helped raise you, right? I helped. I was there for you when nobody else was. I was doing this for you. I was doing that for you. And they do it sometimes in ways that they make you feel so little, so nothing. And they do it to manipulate you to help them with money, with your time, with whatever resource they need from you. But they don't say it to you in a loving way, that I helped raise you and I feel I can ask you for this. No, they say, I helped raise you and you're so ungrateful. That's how I take it when my elders try to manipulate me to do things for them and or give them money. I had an incident like probably about a year or so ago. No, I actually no, Miss Marlene. It was a year after COVID. I have a relative who called me and texted me and emailed me and I was like, I have never spoken to this person in years. You know what I mean? Like, why is he contacting me? So I'm busy at work, but I make the time to call. And I said, hey, you know, you call me. I'm sorry, you know, you have sent me, but here I am. How can I help you? And then I think that was the biggest mistake I made. How can I help you?
Oh,
So this person's first response is about effing time.
oh
I've
no,
been texting.
a
Yes,
minute
ma'am.
out, time out. No, they didn't.
Yes, they did, Miss Marlene.
Okay, you
Yes,
don't
yes, yes, he did.
see my eyes, and I'm what do you call it? And I'm moving my head in a circle. No, they didn't. Didn't.
Miss Marlene, I heard that too. I heard it just like the air quotes. I heard the head movement and everything. I don't know. So about effing time, I've been emailing you, texting you, and I've been calling you. I said, I'm sorry, but I don't think we're that close for you to say that to me. And he said, well, I'm sorry, but I'm really upset because, I've been trying to contact you this whole time and you haven't answered back. And I said, listen, I work in the medical industry. My time right now with this, pandemic is very limited. I'm going to have to cut you off. I said, what do you want? And then he said, well, my parents are sick and I don't have a job right now. My sisters are not better off than I am. And I mean, since my parents helped raise you guys, I feel that I have the right to call and ask you for help. And
Mm,
and I said, whoa, 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 hold on. I said, first of all, your parents didn't help raise me. And this is when I got upset. And I said something that I can't say here because, I don't want your channel to be flagged. But I
yeah.
said, first of all, your parents didn't help raise me for. Mm. I said, second, even if I would have been willing to extend my help to your parents, I said, because of the way you talk to me right now, you lost any chance of getting anything from me. Lose my number, lose my email. Don't you ever, ever, ever try to contact me again. And he started going off. I hanged up, I blocked him. All of a sudden, I have my ex husband calling me. Hey, there's this person who just texted me and he had sent an email to me. He's talking a lot of trash about you. And he's asking me to tell you to call him back because you should feel grateful that his parents who helped raise you are asking for your help. I said, well, what? He's like, yeah, I don't know who he is. He just texted me and emailed me. And I told him that I don't know who he is and I don't know what's going on, but that I will pass the message on to you, but that I didn't guarantee anything. And I was like, what? I said, block him. Uh, then he blocks him and everything. I explained to him what happened. And then I get my brother texting me and calling me back and saying, hey, so and so, yes, just texted me too. He said that you went off on him, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what the? My mom called me.
Yeah, they Miss
Apparently,
Nexie, hold on. This is what they do. When they can't get what they want, they call everybody down the line that you know, looking for sympathy to back them and support them in their wrong.
Miss Marlene, I have not spoken to this man in over 30 years. I don't even know how he looks like. Okay. I don't know why he got, and I don't know why he got my number. But anyway, so he calls, my mom calls me and she's like, what's going on? Your cousin, blah, blah, blah. I said, I don't have a cousin, blah, blah. I don't even know who he is. I don't even know how he looks like. What's going on? Well, you're better off than anybody else when it comes to assets. So
What?
yes, 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 Mr. Marlene, not on my side. So I will think that, you will find it in your heart to help your auntie and uncle right now in their time of need. And I said, Mom, you're very close to me blocking you. No, I don't know these people. Even if I was well off, even if I had millions and millions, I said, this person doesn't deserve my help. I said, you should have seen the way he talked to me. He doesn't know me and he disrespected me. Their family, you're always making a big deal out of nothing. That was her answer.
Ooh,
So,
Miss
in my
Marlene
mom,
was
my
hung
mom,
up there.
my mom said that. And Miss Marlene, I found a source of how he knew that I was financially stable right then and there. I found out how he knew that I will help him. I found out why and where he got my numbers and emails and everything. And that phone call that I made, I mean, that she
Hmm.
made to me. But I was
Well,
like, no, I'm not helping them. And if you continue to harass me, I'm blocking you too. So she said other things, but I hung up. I said, I got to go. I'm busy. And I had to go. So this person discredited me with everybody in the family because I didn't help him in his time of need.
what? Oh,
Yes.
so Miss Nexie, they played the game. What is it? Remember when we were kids? And there was the game telephone where one person said
Yes.
something. Yeah, they were telephone.
He played telephone, and by the time he reached my ears, I mean, he already had a tail and little horns, and he wasn't a cat.
Unbelievable.
Yes, Miss Arlene. So if I would have not been mentally, mentally healthier than before, mentally okay by now, I think I would have helped him even if he disrespected me. But at this point, I was like, no, I can't and I won't. And I was very proud of myself. But my husband was like, "Hey, what the is going on?" This guy was very aggressive. I said, "I know. Who is he?" I said, "I don't know." He's like, "What do you mean you don't know?" I said, "I really don't. I haven't seen him in years. How did he get your number?" And I said, "I'll tell you when I get home. I gotta go. Bye." But people like that, with people that are not um okay, people that are not healthy, people that are insecure and feel unloved. People like that take advantage of that, of their kindness. And I figured that out that day that he did all this, that I wasn't that person anymore, that I was stronger, that I had the ability to say no, and that I had the ability to be mean, even to family. And I was very, very happy with myself. But it is sad because it took many, many years for me to get to that point, as Fearless said earlier, to recognize that and not being taken advantage of.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you stood up for yourself. I think that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about in this. about people who are incapable of love, and people will do what you allow them to.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
you draw that line in the sand and like, you will not disrespect me. But one day I was like, hello? And they're up there talking, shouting, whatever. I know you're not on the phone I pay for. Miss Nixon, I'm telling you, I almost snapped my neck off. Putting my neck around and rolling my eyes. I know you're not calling me on the phone, sir, disrespecting me on my time. Mm-mm. Oh, I know you're not. I was like, this must be a bad connect. Yeah.
Yeah, you must be trying to speak to somebody else that is not me because yeah, that's not happening right now. The phone that I pay for, you're using the line that I pay for to insult me. Yeah, no, I would have done the same thing now, not before, but now, yep, I don't care.
Wow. I want to highlight a comment from Manifest Reality. She says, see folks play phone tag and email games. Please don't allow anyone to bully you. Yeah, people will, and we
Yes,
see on the internet too. People will do things on the phone, on email, behind avatars. And okay, that's why I said pull. If you have something to say, if you're so big and bad and have so much to say about whatever is going on, then why don't they come and tell you to your face?
oh, they will never. They know better, Miss Marlene. They know better. That's why we have a word for that now, right? Cyberbullying, isn't that what it is?
That is it.
We're
And
fine.
now it's a criminal offense.
Exactly. Again, Miss Marlene, I'm very, very private. The people that have my phone number, my personal, right now, my work number, but my personal phone number, my personal email, my very private and personal, any other, you know, platform, those are the people that I call family, friends that are family to me and family, right? I don't use, like, I don't allow anyone else to know those private settings. How this person found my email, my personal phone number, and everything else, I was shocked. And I told my mother, I said, how dare you? You know what I mean? Like, how dare you? Now this person can find me in other platforms
Mm.
because you gave him my very personal information. Well, it's family. No, it's not. I said, and one day you're going to understand what that means. I said, I know you're not capable of, you know what that means, but one day you will. And family is not just because we have, a similar biology, similar DNA, because we, have distant, blah, 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 blah. I said, that doesn't make anyone your family. I said, biologically, yeah, but family is what you have in your heart. I said, I know you don't understand it, but don't ever do that again. And she got upset and everything, but hopefully she understood what I meant. Hopefully. I don't
Hopefully,
know. Fully, yes.
because
And
you never know what sinks in, like what they actually absorb. Because it's one of those things. It's like people hear what they want. Like you'll be telling them something to benefit them, something constructive, and just like you said, he said, she went off on me.
exactly, Miss Martin. Stop it. The funny thing is, I went. I don't know if you ever had this happen to you, Miss Marlene. But when you have like a favorite auntie or cousin or whatever that you think they like you too, and whenever you guys get together, go anywhere, like to eat or shop or whatever, supermarket, whatever, you say, "Oh, don't worry, I get that. I'll pay for it. I got this." and you buy everything for them every time you go, and the one day you can't and you say no, that's the one day you find out that they really didn't like you, but
Mhm.
they
Oh,
just
yeah.
they were just taking advantage of you. I had someone like that in my life that every time I went, we'll go, I will take her to the supermarket because, she's an elder in my family, and I will go to her house, pick her up, take her to the supermarket, or take her out to eat, or, anywhere she wanted to go. And she will try to pay. And I say, no, 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 I got this. Don't worry about it. I'll pay for it. Just take whatever you want. And I will see like the whole cart full of stuff, right? Didn't matter because I was able to do it. So this went on for years. I will go see her probably like 3, 4 times, 5 times a year because she lives far away. But I will always do that. The whole week that I will stay with her, I will do that. So one day, my first day there, I forgot my wallet when we went to the supermarket. And she had all these things in her cart. And again, my favorite person. I said, you know what? I didn't bring my wallet. Oh, it's okay. I'll pay for it. Don't worry about it. I said, are you sure? Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I said, I forgot. We were rushing out and I forgot my wallet. So we get home. I help her put everything away. And then I go to my room. We finish dinner. I said, I'm going to go to sleep. So I go to the room, but I forgot to take some water into a room. So I come out and I hear her on the phone with her daughter. I guess it was, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you won't believe what happened to me today. I mean, not only does she come and stay here with me for an entire week, but she's expecting me to feed her. We went to the
What?
yeah, we went to the supermarket today to buy the food for the week. And guess what? Not $1 she took out of her wallet. She made me pay for her food. So now she's got food, room, and board. She has to worry about nothing. I can't believe she does this every time she comes. Miss
What?
Marlene, yes, I was floored. I couldn't move because I'm thinking, this is the first time, and I've been coming to see you for years. This is the first time, and I went out and I was going to go the next day to get money so I could give it to her. Miss Marlene, I kicked that door because she only had it like halfway, closed. I kicked that door open. She looked like she had seen a ghost. And she's like, oh, do you need something? I just looked at her and said, I can't believe you. I packed my things, Miss Marlene. I made a reservation somewhere else. I went home the next day. And I was so hurt because she said I had to pay for everything. She always makes me pay for everything.
And that's not the truth.
It is not. And then she was calling me and having her daughter call me, and it was a misunderstanding. And I said, don't ever call me back. I seen her in weddings, when we go family weddings, family anniversaries, things like that. I say hi, how are you? And that's as far as I go. Never again did I visit her. Never again did I, you know, keep company with her because the lie. Imagine if her kids would have believed that. Imagine if someone would have come after me for taking advantage of their elderly parent. Imagine if they would have called the police. They would have sued me because taking advantage of an elderly parent.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. Ever since then, I'm like, I'm careful now. I don't pay for everything on anyone. I bring my own stuff if I have to stay with family, but normally I Airbnb, so I don't have to.
Miss Nexie, I learned a long time ago, and I mean a long time ago, that if somebody that you are close to, the best thing to do is always have your own space.
Yes, ma'am. I learned that day too, Miss Marlene.
And for me, it's not because anything has happened, but it's so that you can maintain relationships. Because if they want to stay up and make noise in the house and do whatever, they have the right because it's their home. But it's one of those things like, oh, because you're going to bed, I'm supposed to go to bed. I'm not a kid.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Go to bed.
That thing that happened to me, Miss Marlene, from that day on, and this was, a long time ago. From then on, even when I go visit my family back home, I rent a place to stay. I Airbnb nowadays. Before, I would rent, a hotel room for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever I was going to be. And I have my sisters would always tell me, just stay with us. You know what I mean? Like, just okay, just stay with me. And I'm like, now, ever since that happened to me, I said, no, we need our space. And my little guy doesn't like noise. He likes to do his own thing. And I don't want you or him to be uncomfortable. So I rent my own place because that lady taught me a very valuable lesson that no matter what you do, and no matter how much you care and what face they put in front of you in private, they're a total different animal. You don't know. So you have to be careful. I was so scared, Miss Marlene, because I was like, what if these people would have said, hey, this person is taking advantage of my mother, my elderly mother. She goes there, eats off of her, makes her buy things. And, you know, I'm, I, Miss Marlene, I would have been in big trouble, especially with the type of career that you and I have. I would have lost everything because you never know how far these people can take it. So,
Well, Miss Nexie, but that's the thing. But it was revealed because thank goodness it wasn't something to where what would happen if you were expecting for them to, do that? And what if you weren't going to have money for a few days? Because I've been in that situation. Not that I don't have it, but it's not going to be coming until, like, say it's Monday. I'm not going to have money till Friday.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been in that situation too. And I've been in play, Miss Marlene. This is another thing. This lady will come here and stay with me for 2 weeks. She had children here in California too. She could have stayed with the kids. Like, nobody could stand her. And I didn't know why until that day. She's my auntie. So she come and stay with me for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I fill up the refrigerator with the things she loved. I gave her her own room. I will even move the boys to the girls' room, their beds and everything, because she was going to stay with us for 2 weeks. And in that house, we only had the three rooms, right? The Our main bedroom and the boys and girls. So I will move them together so that she could have her own room. And this is what you do? Yeah, it's so sad because they teach you very, very valuable lessons that they help you because they make you understand that one false move, even a family member, can create that ripple effect that can damage your entire life.
And you know what, Miss Nexie, what I hate the most is the individuals who they say these things and they cause divisions,
Mm.
ruin your reputation, and none of it is true.
Exactly. Exactly, Miss Marlene. Exactly. But you know what my cousins told me? That's the reason why she doesn't stay with us because
Mm.
she's drama all the way around, and she's fought with everybody, all of her kids, their daughter-in-laws, their son-in-laws, and so my cousins didn't warn me until after it happened to me. I'm glad that they didn't believe her. They didn't
Wow.
believe her, but imagine if they would have. It's terrible. And family sometimes is the one that teaches us the biggest lessons, right?
I always say if it wasn't for the toxicity, for the dysfunction, the emotional lack of emotional intelligence, and so many other factors, if people weren't who they were, it wouldn't shift you into being who you are today.
Yes, man. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
So,
And I
so go
and
ahead,
you're
Miss
right.
Nexie.
No, no, I said, and you're very right. It's true. We wouldn't be who we are if it wasn't for those life lessons that we have received from our families or friends sometimes.
Or exes.
Oh my
Mhm.
God, don't let's not go there.
Save that for, we'll save the exes part for another day. But
Yes.
I did want to say that before we bring this to an end, that we have to understand that we can't change them, that
Hmm.
it's their fault. And also, we have to stop waiting for people to change and leave, because sometimes it can get to a point where you can be under so much stress from their toxicity, their drama, their negativity, their abuse, that it will put you in a early grave.
It's true. It's true. The things that the what I have learned, I guess, because I was making the mistake, Miss Marlene, that when something happened, like something will happen to me, like what happened with my auntie, or what happened with this other cousin who demanded me to help them because they had helped raise me. Um, what I was doing is I was not trusting the next person that came along that was actually good to me. I will start stopping myself from helping people that probably deserve it because I was like, how do I know this person is not like this other one? Or how do I know that this person is gonna do the same thing? So I was finding myself not wanting to help others. I was finding myself closing doors before anything happened. And
Hmm.
that, as you said before, it comes to a very sad life and very sad reality because you're starting to not trust anything or anyone around you, and you hurt people by being like that. But mostly you hurt yourself because you close doors on fantastic people
Yep.
that will take their shirts off their backs to give them to you. But because you're already so scarred, so damaged, and so hurt, you start closing doors or windows before they even open them.
Yep.
And I had to
Yep.
work on that.
Yes, and what manifest reality says right here, and you find yourself isolated also.
Yes, you do manifest. Yes, you do. You find yourself not trusting, not helping anyone, not being yourself. And because you find yourself like that, you're isolated. You don't want to get hurt like that anymore. And
Mm,
again, it has nothing to do with what they do to you. I think it had to do with what they did to me or they do to you. I think it had to do with the way sometimes we close ourselves to overcoming something. We
mhm.
don't want to work on it. We just want to stay where we're at.
No, Miss Nexie, we don't want to become empowered.
Mhm. Yes, that word, Miss Marley, want to become empowered. You're
Tell
so
you,
right.
I had to tell you, Miss Nexie, there was a time like I didn't want to get over it. I wanted to be messy. I wanted to be angry. I wanted to tell everybody who was around what they did to me. But after, like, okay, Marlene, enough is enough. Yeah, have your say. Okay, put up those walls, put an end to it. But you can't stop your life because of other people. You can't shut yourself off from enjoying life and experiencing good friendships and and all of the fun that you could have in your life because of other people. And I understand, I get it that many of us have been traumatized, backstabbed, gaslighted. So much things has happened to us, but we just have to go in with that knowledge and awareness and pay attention to those red flags and say, if I see anything, if I feel negative energy or toxic or evilness, then I know it's shut it off, shut it down, and it's time to move on. But if not, I'm going to keep living my life.
Mm, yes,
All the
ma'am. That's exactly, again, that is exactly what I had to learn. And I'm going to say something really quick. I know we're not talking about this topic, but it is exactly, I think it belongs in this segment. My husband and I separated a very long time ago. Our divorce was recently finalized, and we're good friends. If I would have not, Miss Marlene, taken care of my mind and body as a whole, if I would have not gone back to therapy after we got separated, if I would have not continued on the path that I was already on, but in a better way because I went back to therapy, I don't think I will be able to do what I do now, with my ex-husband. My birthday
mm,
was a couple of days ago, and he had planned a surprise for me, for my little guy and me, and we went on a 3-day holiday. I got gifts. We had a great time. We talked. We, hashed a lot of little things that were flying around that we had not been able to talk about. We had great dinners, amazing, amazing walks and stuff. And I was able to be in the same room with this person without wanting to say hateful things. Working on myself has allowed me to still enjoy his company as the father of my children, who he loved very much. And it's allowing my children to see that when you have a healthy body and mind, a divorce can be as beautiful as a marriage is. Both
mhm.
can be beautiful in their own way. You don't have to be enemies with your, especially their father, with your exes. You can become friends and continue to co parent in a healthy way. Now, I credit that to, therapy and a lot of work on my part. But
Right.
I also credit the fact that he has gotten the help that he needed.
Mm,
So we are both in a path that we know we're not just going to have the kids, we're going to have grandkids, we're going to have a lot of things that are going to bring us back together. And we're demonstrating to our kiddos that no matter how many mistakes we make, no matter whether we're married or divorced, they can still count on both of us at any time, any place, in any way. So
yes.
that's what I wanted to say. If I would have not, got the help that I needed, and I will still be that insecure person, the person that will allow anyone to walk all over her and not be able to open the doors to something new without fear, I would not be able to be where I'm at, as friends with my ex.
Mm. Wow, Miss Nexie. I feel like that's going to be next week's topic. Pink,
We should.
friends with your ex. Hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it.
Frenemies with your ex. Frenemies with your ex. No, friends with your ex.
Yeah. I like it. Friends with your ex. So thank you, Miss Nexie. Thank you, everybody. Another awesome and great topic. I really appreciate the comment section participation, because that's when the topics I know are really good, when I see you guys engaging and talking. I love it so much. I may not be able to read every single one of your comments, but no, I see them, and yeah, it really it's very helpful, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Miss Next.
everyone. Thank you, Miss Marlene, for having me. Thank you, everyone, for supporting Miss Marlene. Don't forget to hit that like and follow and subscribe if it's your first time here. Thank you for all
Yeah,
your support. Thank you, Miss Marlene, again for having me. Great
thank you.
topic.
Great topic. Thank you, Miss Nexty. And shout out to my mods. Shout out to the channel members. I appreciate every single one of you. And we will see you all back on the next one. I think I'm going to be doing a live solo on, I want to say, third Wednesday. I want to say next Wednesday. We're going to be doing a topic. So thank you guys. Everyone have a great rest of your night. And don't let people who are incapable of love use you and abuse you. Cut them off and take the steps to heal yourself from what hurt you. And let's make better decisions because we're not little kids. We're mature men and women. You guys.
What she said. Thank you, Miss Marlene. Bye, everyone.